Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and I have a lot of other videos on bracket breakage, how to know what happened, how to prevent it from happening in the future. No, putting a bite bump is not always the best solution. Matter of fact, a lot of times it's a terrible solution. So you need to know what's causing it. And a lot of times, honestly, it's just the doctor's treatment planning. Sometimes it's the improper placement of brackets. Sometimes it's improper isolation and going through the whole biochemical procedure of adhering a bracket to the tooth. Sometimes it's the patient's fault. So definitely check out my other videos on bracket breakage. You can just use that keyword in my channel, Straightsmile Solutions Bracket Breakage or Broken Brackets, to look at some of the org charts I have. I always strongly recommend that let's say if there's a doctor that tells me they have a patient that broke a bracket or is repeatedly breaking a bracket, first thing I tell them to do, and you'll get this from my other videos, is to snap a photo. So always have the patient bring the bracket in. Why? Because that tells us a lot. Because where the glue is left, whether it's on the back of the bracket or on the tooth or both, basically tells me 90% of the answer as to what happened. And if you want to know more about that, you can listen to my other videos. But if they don't bring that bracket in, first of all, brackets are expensive and they can totally be reused if they are properly cleaned on the same patient, of course. And if a patient's not bringing the bracket in, I mean, occasionally it's going to happen that just pops out of the mouth or they get hit in the face or something. But if they're repeatedly breaking brackets and not bringing them in, that's a red flag for me for compliance. So that's the first thing you should do, is they should drop it into a Ziploc bag and bring it in. Also, it's a big difference if a bracket breaks within 24 hours of it being put on versus after 24 hours. That's kind of a big deal. So I always told my patients, if something breaks within 24 hours, it's on us, Don't worry about it. We will do our best to be super convenient to get you in at the most flexible time, even if it's at 5 p.m. I'm so sorry if that happens. Occasionally, there's some issues with the bonding system. If it's after 24 hours, no. That's usually on the patient. So most of the time. And of course, a lot of it's going to depend on where the glue is. So you got to go through the whole food chart. It's not only what you eat, but how you eat things. When you have braces, there's going to be significant food restrictions. Not only what you eat, but how you eat. Hey, I had braces. I managed to never break any brackets, and I managed to eat almost everything, but it really depends on the consistency of your enamel and really your biting forces and the acidity of your saliva and what you drink. If you're eating more acidic things, a lot of more sugary and acidic things are going to break down glue a little bit more. So it depends on your diet. So just because your one friend can get away eating tacos and pizza doesn't mean you can. So you have to kind of go, and your bite. So you have to kind of go with what's right. So it's better to play on the safe side and be cautious what you eat. Everything, I like to say, you cut everything up like Europeans, like even sandwiches, fork and knife, If you're embarrassed to do fork and knife, I was really embarrassed in high school to do fork and knife with my sandwiches. So then I only had mushy sandwiches, like super mushy bread, like tuna fish, peanut butter and jelly, things that could be bitten that were mushy. And if it was something a little less mushy, like a tuna sandwich, like a turkey and cheese sandwich, I would rip it and put it in the back of my mouth. So, hey, I've been there. I've been the high schooler with braces, and yeah, it can be a little bit rough. And when you go out to eat, you have to think about things. Everything has to be cut up in teeny tiny pieces. No, you cannot eat that bagel with your teeth. Only pop pieces in your mouth. No, you can't have a taco. You can eat the inside of the taco, but you can't have the taco. And if it's a soft taco, you're gonna have to cut up in super teeny tiny pieces. Same thing with burritos. You can't bite into the burrito. The list goes on and on and on. So if you don't like it, well, get Invisalign, because it works just as well as braces in 99.99999% of the cases, as long as you have a doctor who knows what they're doing. That's the most important part. Any doctor who says it doesn't work as well doesn't know what they're doing for Invisalign. Invisalign's completely a different type of animal. And some doctors are really good at braces and not good at Invisalign. A lot of younger doctors are really good at Invisalign and not as good as braces. And some doctors are great at both. So a great idea to get an idea is to find out what percentage of their practice is Invisalign, and if they're using Invisalign Comprehensive or if they're only using it on easy cases. If they only have a tiny percentage that's using Invisalign, well, that's a red flag. They don't know what they're doing. Not that it doesn't make them a bad doctor. It just means that you wouldn't want to go to them for Invisalign. It's not the product that does the work. It's the doctor that trains the product how to do the work. It's a tool. So on one patient, you could have a really good Invisalign outcome, and another doctor might do a terrible Invisalign outcome. But anyways, that is what you do when your bracket breaks. Of course, immediately call the office. Snap photos of the tooth, bring the bracket in with you, snap photos of the back of the bracket. And if it happens within 24 hours, I think you have a definite case to not have a fee to put that back on. Most offices are going to charge a fee after a couple broken brackets. You should look at your contract or ask what their policy is. Or they're going to give you an option to upgrade to Invisalign for an additional fee, usually about $2,000 or something like that if you already had braces on and took them off. If they're doing less than 2,000, well, then they're very nice, because that's what I would charge. So, because that's what my lab fee is, right? Unless I get a volume discount. You can know if your doctor has a volume discount by looking them up on the doctor locator. If it says they're diamond or platinum, they get a volume discount. So that means the upgrade fee shouldn't be as much. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better. Sometimes they just get creative in terms of crowdsourcing and buyers groups and stuff like that. So don't be fooled thinking that they're a better doctor because they have more elite status, because that's not necessarily a thing. All right, thanks so much.